Today I would love you to have a block. The block is there for support, mainly seated and lying down. So please feel free, if you do not have a block, to instead use a sturdy cushion or something like that. That would be great. So while you might have gathered these things, once you've got them, please place that block next to your mat. And we shall start lying down on our backs. So coming to rest on the floor. And when I lie down in the morning, I can feel almost the creaking and groaning through the joints, and the body is not quite that willing to settle down. So let us move a little bit, like movement against the floor, keeping the feet down onto the ground and reaching into your arms, kind of going for a walk with your shoulders and your shoulder blades, so that we can hopefully ease a little bit more deeply into the ground. When you've gotten there, it feels like the shoulders can rest with more ease. And you might as well do a little bit the same, like a walking action, lifting one side of the hip and then the other. It might take a little bit longer to get that ease into the body. And what we've just done is basically helping us to realign our spine. So once you're in this position, leave your feet on the ground for another moment. And have the feet rather a little bit wider, letting your knees drop in for a constructive resting pose. Now, today we will focus on a color in a moment. And if you like, you can rest your hands, keeping the shoulders relaxed, somewhere against your body. It doesn't matter where, it's just a matter of feeling in for yourself and noticing there might be a part of you that needs a bit of attention or healing energy. And please place your hand there. And even if that means it's your mind, and you could gently place your hand onto the forehead, or if that's uncomfortable for you and you have an eye pillow, you could place that across the forehead if you like. And once you've found either open arm position or hands resting, paying attention physically to a part of you, then settle in. Allowing yourself to notice what is right now. Hopefully the body is feeling at ease. And allowing parts of the body not to be. And assessing yourself, how you really are this morning. If your physical body is then assessed, you might pay attention to your emotional state and that state of your mind. It's not easy to look at your own thoughts and feelings and detach yourself from them. We're oftentimes then diving a lot deeper. But you could see yourself as if we were in the same room, which we virtually are. And we're sharing our energy. So maybe that's an encouragement of dropping your worries, at least for this hour. Feeling the gentle ebb and flow of your breath through the nose, in your chest, in your belly. Deepening your breath into full yogic breathing, as the breath expands the belly, the ribs, and takes up towards your collarbones. And letting the belly fall, the ribs come in, the chest release. Full yogic breathing for a little while. And if you like to work with a gentle engagement of your lower abdomen on the exhalation, you might choose for that purpose to separate the knees and adjust the feet down to hip distance, as that could create a gentle rocking in the pelvis that might feel quite good. So while you do that, I introduce today's color to you. And if while you're breathing, you would like to start visualizing that color, good choice. The color is indigo. And it says, improve your vision. It further states, indigo helps with any illness affecting your head, eyes, ears, or nose. It helps to treat mental and emotional disorders, such as ADD, anxiety, and depression. Indigo is great for problems with insomnia and to release stress and tension. When visualized, indigo can provide a sense of clarity and purpose. Visualize indigo rays to improve your vision and make your dreams a reality. As that could be your internal focus for this practice or for your day if you see benefits in what I just mentioned. While you might keep your full breath going, no need to change that quite yet. I would ask you all to step the feet down so they can touch together. To also squeeze your knees together. We're going into a full back release before we're doing anything else, as you can either leave your arms out to the side or even better, place your fingertips behind the head. If that's stressful for the shoulders, please leave the arms out to the sides. Squeeze your knees really tightly, as if your dream to become true is as thin as a piece of paper and you don't want to lose that between your knees. And start with the out breath to let your knees come to one side as you inhale to center them, and then exhaling to the other side. The legs are squeezed together during this movement as you continue it. And with that, your feet are squeezed together as well, just rolling to an outer edge each time that you're turning your knees to one side. Allowing yourself to feel that movement in your back. And you might notice that, yes, the pelvis is moving a lot, but also your lower back is your main point of focus as you go about this movement. Then a pause for a second once you are in balance with the left and the right side. And just notice how you're feeling. You can change your arms at any time if they feel stressed. From there, lifting the feet off the floor and moving your knees over your hips, and then getting the knees into a 90-degree angle as you're lifting your feet up, flexing your ankles, so now you can see your toes shining up behind your knees. Again, hold your dream tightly as you're squeezing your knees and feet together, and return to moving the legs from side to side. The movement here will naturally become smaller as you hold your legs tightly together and maybe can't get as far. making sure in between that your knees are still at 90 degrees, or in other words, you can still see your toes behind your knees. Notice where the movement goes. So we're now targeting our mid-back. And a lot of you have done these movements with me before. I find that this movement here is really beneficial to release the whole back. And once you're balanced with either side, pause again. Let your knees come a bit closer to the chest. Relax your feet towards the buttocks. Keep your pause for a moment. Notice how your back is going. Before we move on to the upper back, again, keep the feet and knees really close. Hold tightly onto your dreams as we're drawing the knees up to one side and towards our shoulder. And then we're moving the knees across, and on the elbows, give them a nice tuck up towards the other shoulder. It's like a half circle that you're drawing over the body while you're inhaling. And then you're squeezing your knees right up towards the shoulders. Now, this little squeeze is very important in that movement, as we want to target our very, very upper back. And without the tuck, we can't quite reach there. So see if you can lift your knees with that extra tuck up towards the shoulder. Beginning also to lightly strengthen our core. Once you're in balance, left and right side, I'd ask you to place your feet down onto the mat. Relax the arms away from the body. Step your feet out either wide and drop the knees in, or you could do the opposite, touch your feet and let your knees fall out as they've been squeezing together all the time. It might be nice to bring some space. Returning to deep, full breath in and out of your nose. And then I would ask you to take your block. You might extend your legs out, lift the upper body briefly, take the block behind you onto the mat, align the shorter edge of the block with your brow line or lower ribs, and then lie over the block. Now, if it doesn't feel good to let your head fall to the ground, you can use a second block or a cushion to help you support the head. Otherwise, snuggle onto the block, lying straight over the block with your spine and with the arms a little bit wider, maybe a slight cactus position, not fully, so elbows bent. You could touch your shoulder blades to the block as well, creating a deep opening now in your chest area, in your throat, and also in your field of vision, the eyes, eyebrow center, all that we need to see. The legs can relax out long, but you could also have your feet on the ground. The supported fish variation, setting our sense of time right as we arrive in this moment in an open chest, an open heart, open lungs, an extended and opening center of speech and vision. If you enjoy moving, you could slide your arms up and down by your sides or even stretch them over the head. Your choice. Small movement, big movement, or none at all. After a little bit of mindful movement, you might take another rest over the block. The trick here is to apply elegance in coming off it. So suggestion, stepping feet on the ground and either just rolling to one side of your block or placing your hands and fingers slightly underneath the buttocks, tucking the forearms in by the sides, the chin into the chest as you're lifting to remove the block out from underneath and lie straight back down. I will ask you now to open your arms out wide to just about shoulder height and turn your hands down to the ground. If that is possible, otherwise you can keep one foot on the ground. Extend your right leg to the ceiling and let your left leg come out long. You can hold your foot here pointed or in a more relaxed way. Noticing if you experience any tension just by lifting the leg, and that could truly be. If you do, take a little hold of the back of the leg and gently draw it in towards your body. Then release that slightly, keep the hold as you're inhaling. We'll do that one more time. And you might, for the second time, actively flex the foot and draw the leg in towards you. Then we will let that go, reopen our arms, palms back down to the floor, leg relaxed. And then as you inhale, open the leg out to the right, all the way if you can. And as you exhale, swing the leg across the body. On the inhale, open to the side. On the exhale, swing it across. Your breath could be a little bit faster for this movement, as you really swing the leg in a big motion. Targeting a little bit the energy lines of the liver and the gallbladder that are responsible for good health in the season of spring. After you've moved the leg a few times from side to side, you can choose to bend the knee and step the foot to the ground, or flex the foot, engage your lower abdomen, and breathe out to lower the right leg down straight instead. Your choice, whether you keep the right leg extended or step the foot to the ground, and lifting your left leg up into the air. For better range of movement, the right leg extended is preferred, but if that causes you distress in the body, just keep the foot on the ground, lengthen into that position and experience, if you prefer, to take a hold of your left leg. If you do and you interlace your fingers, just changing the interlace. Keep your foot relaxed. And while you're breathing out, draw the straight leg in. As you inhale, you might release that lightly and flex the foot, and with the out breath then drawing the leg back in towards you. And then when you're releasing that, leaving the foot relaxed, reopening the arms, palms back down towards the ground, and we'll repeat the movement here. On the inhale, opening your leg to the left. On the exhale, swinging the leg across. Inhaling, open. Exhaling, swing across. And now you could come into your own pace, your rhythm of movement. And there's no need to hold back here in pace. The movement a little bit faster is perfectly fine, if not ideal. Keep moving a little bit more, just swinging your leg from side to side. And then center. Either set the foot to the ground or flex it, engage lower abdomen and breath out to lower the legs down slowly. As we relax our legs down, I'd ask you to step the feet back onto the ground and now extending both legs up towards the ceiling. Arms remain wide, palms down to the floor. Now I would ask you to squeeze your legs tightly again. Feet can be relaxed and we're moving both legs from side to side. So I would swing on the inhale, center again on the exhale, and maybe ground down through arms and shoulders. So this movement could be smaller. It could be just as big as the previous one. Trying to keep your legs touching and pulling yourself back on the out breath. Well, for me, this movement needs to be a little bit slower so I'm not losing control. But if you've got good control, you can go just as fast as we did with one leg. Go twice more to each side. And then pausing in the center, bending your knees into the chest and give them a good squeeze in. Knees can stay together or come out a little bit wide in that squeeze. On your next exhale, lifting your nose up towards the knees, really curling in. Then let your back land on the mat. Stepping your feet down onto the floor. And I'm after a back extension now. So the feet will land at hip distance. Arms come down by the sides. Block is handy by the side. And while you inhale, only tilt your pelvis to flatten out your back. Then squeeze your bottom as you're lifting your hips up high into a bridge. Pause for a moment in the bridge. It's already an extension of the hip flexors. And think about your tailbone moving up towards the backs of the knees. You could then lightly walk your shoulders under, get your shoulder blades together, or even briefly interlace your hands behind your back. Take one more breath in that bridge before you grab a block. You can actually have that block as high up as it suits your body. I will take mine halfway up now and slide it underneath the sacrum directly. If your lower back is so achy that this causes you stress in the body, please feel free to just use the block flat and even slide it further down to your feet so the tailbone comes off the block. In that case, you might want to extend your legs out straight away so the block doesn't slip out from underneath. Two different variations, one where the lower back is particularly lengthened, that's for those feeling achy, and the other one, a deeper extension into the front. Now, shoulder blades are under as you release your arms out. And allowing your pelvis to settle into the position. It might take a little bit of time until the body realizes what is happening here. And you could play with yourself and explore as you might just slide out your right leg for a little bit. Potentially allowing a deeper extension here over the front of the hip, but mindful of your body's response in the back. Please feel free to even remove the block if that doesn't work for you. Let us step the right foot back down onto the floor And now extend the left leg out. Again, allowing that extension to occur with good awareness about your body's response to that slight extension. Now, judging by doing this with one side, or at least having tried, step the foot back onto the ground. Your choice to just simply hold your supported bridge, or to lengthen both legs out for a little while. You could come back to the color for today, the beautiful indigo. As you visualize your body potentially surrounded by this color. And then if your legs are extended, step them back down onto the mat. If your block is all the way up, please bring it down to at least halfway. If it isn't flat on the ground, take a hold of your block, and we will come into a little inversion as we lift our feet up into the air. I'm hoping that your legs are ready for that. If you feel your block is in a solid position, you can let it go once the legs are up in the air. And if you would like to, you could start to just move the right foot a little bit. Squeeze into the toes, maybe circling, or whatever feels right on this side. And let that movement, and with that the whole right leg rests, and bring your awareness to the left leg and the left foot as you do something similar on the left hand side. There's no real structure, just moving the toes, the foot, the ankle. And then resting the left foot and leg as well. And allowing a moment, if your eyes are open, stare at your toes, or you can close the eyes here for a bit, encouraging the flow right down from the feet, through legs, hips, to the chest area, and even up to the head and down into the fingers. Inversions are something that is recommended to almost do daily. So that time that we bring a hold in, unless you actually do this daily, which I would encourage you to try. And you could do that in this way, or legs up the wall, or you could practice full inversions like handstands, shoulder stands. Be careful though if you're working with the headstands. You bring your knees back in, turn your hands to the floor, either hold onto your block or stepping just one foot down after the other, landing your feet back at hip distance. Squeeze the buttocks muscles, lift your hips up into another bridge to remove the block from underneath, and then rolling down your back onto the floor. Anything that gives you relief here is wonderful. If you don't need any relief, you can lengthen your legs out and bring your arms down by your sides. Legs can be close or to a maximum now of about hip distance apart. Let us breathe in through the nose, breathe out of the mouth as we're lifting just the upper body for now and reaching with our fingertips towards our toes. And then with the inhale, lying back down. Breath out of the mouth, lifting the upper body. Breath in to lie back down. I suppose that's reasonably easy if you would like to lift the legs a little bit as well, strengthening more. And then releasing down, and you might try that a second time. Breath out of the mouth. And inhale to release that. Now, if you want to take it further, get still on that outburst, come to sit into a boat. And then lie back down. Your variation of this movement. Upper body lift, long body lift, or boats. Last one now. Come into your boat. No matter how you get there, step your feet down onto the ground. Let the soles of the feet come together. Pull the feet in a little bit. Take a hold of your ankles. Draw your spine up long, breathing in. And then allow yourself to slide the feet a little bit forward. Place the hands down flat onto the ground. And if they can, slide your arms underneath the legs and lower your head towards your feet. Tortoise pose as we build a shell around us. But you might really visualize to embrace the color indigo within this shape. Capturing it for yourself to encourage us to see our dreams, to allow ourselves to see clearly where we're at as well. And bringing the hands through and rising back up into sitting as we bring ourselves around and come to stand on our hands and our knees. Spreading the fingers out to the mat in this all four stance. And I will guide you through a sequence that is still more for the kidneys, but our weather is still shifting and changing, so it might be nice to acknowledge that we still need a bit of warmth. We will begin by lifting the right leg, and if this is what you can do today, that's awesome. If you can also lift the right arm, and yes, that's the same side, do so. And while you're breathing out, take them across. While you're inhaling, bring them to the center. And while you're exhaling, landing that back down. We're back on all fours. Let's carefully try the other side. Left leg is lifting. Left arm might come forward. And with an out-breath, taking arm and leg across the body. With the in-breath coming to center. And with the exhale, landing again. Now we'll change that into a movement sequence. While you breathe in, lifting arm and leg, same side, the right. As you exhale, bring that across the body. On the inhale, center it. On the out breath, landing hand and knee back down. Left side, inhale, lift. Exhale, cross the body. Inhale, center. And exhale, land it down. Once more on each side. Take a breath in as we're lifting right arm, right leg. Exhale, swing across. Inhale, center. Exhale, land down, knee and hand, left leg. Inhale, left arm, left leg lifting. Exhale, cross over. Inhale, come to center. And exhale, lower down. Stretching back towards the heels into a child's pose, where you could take time to just move through your hands and wrists. Maybe resting the elbows down to do so. If you don't feel a need, just resting in a child's pose would be good. With your next inhalation, come back up onto all fours. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, lift up into downward facing dog. Now, if you don't want to practice down dog, staying on all fours. If you're in a down dog, let's move that a little bit. Walk it out, swing your hips. Now, as you're next inhaling, let your right arm lift and maybe follow it with the gaze. On the exhale, reach towards your left ankle. Let's do that again. On the inhale, lifting the right arm. On the exhale, reach for the left ankle. And one more. Take a breath in, right arm lifting. Exhaling, reach for the ankle. Hold here as you look underneath your left armpit. Then release your hand back to the ground. Take a breath in, lower your knees. A breath out into child's pose. Any movement that you might like to have here is a good one before we might explore the other side. With the inhale, coming back onto all fours, either to stay or exhaling, lifting knees into downward dog. Lifting the left arm up, inhale. On the exhale, reaching for your right ankle. Two more, inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, reach for the ankle. And one more time, inhale, lift it. Exhale, reach for the ankle. Now hold. See if you can look underneath the right armpit. Then bring the hands back down and start to walk your feet to the top end of the mat. Allowing yourself to melt forward and down into a forward fold. Engaging now lightly into the lower abdomen. Waiting for an out breath to use that to curl up into standing. Give the shoulders a little lift and then also shrugging down. Please do stay standing at the front end of the mat. I oftentimes just turn around to make it easier for you to see. But what I'd encourage you to do is stand a little bit more to one side of the mat and kind of turning yourself sideways. So there's room to step out is what I'm trying to say. So we will begin at this shape with the side where the leg is facing the longer end of the mat, if that makes sense, I hope. Let us take an in-breath. As you bend both knees, the arms floating out. We're lifting the leg closer to the length of the mat. And we will cross that over. If you prefer just to rest your ankle to the thigh, that's fine too. We're approaching eagle pose otherwise. That arm on the side where the mat is long wraps under, and we might either touch the palms or embrace our shoulders. You could tap your big toe to the ground if you're in the full eagle legs. And I usually encourage you to squeeze the legs in that case. If your ankle is resting to the thigh, of course you can't squeeze, and that's perfectly fine too. Now let's find a little bit of steadiness in our gaze. Trying to lift the elbows on an in-breath. And then folding a little bit deeper forward on an out-breath. You might roll through the spine for the next one as you inhale to lift your elbows. And on the out-breath, leaning a little bit further down. No pause here. And then with the next inhale, keep your arms the same, lifting the top leg up and stepping that out nice and wide to the sides, aligning the feet to have the outer edges parallel. And then begin to move. Start to bend into one leg, begin to sway the body, move your arms, the shoulders, everything comes into a sway and you're moving down towards the ground. Maybe even your fingertips are brushing along the mat. And then continue that movement as you come back into standing. Turn your toes outwards and sink into a goddess stance. As you're next inhaling, let your arms extend out to shoulder height and straighten your legs. We will step over to the other end of the mat and release the arms down. Notice how you're doing now on this side of the mat. Might feel a little bit different. So we'll see how this goes. With your next inhale, bend your knees and let your arms float back out towards the sides. Lifting the other leg up, obviously. And then either ankle to the thigh with the knee falling out or crossing the whole leg over. Big toe can rest on the floor or we're just hugging the legs together. Let the arm from the side of the mat wrap underneath the other as you can embrace your shoulders or touch your palms again. Finding a variation of eagle shape. Shoulders relaxed. Good squeeze of the legs if they're wrapped up. Really encouraging all your energy lines. And a more steady hold of your eagle shape. With the next in-breath, could you lift your elbows up? And with that, your gaze, challenging the balance as you breathe out, maybe leaning a little bit forward. We'll do that one more time on the inhale, lifting the elbows, maybe the gaze. And then on the out breath, leaning back in. If you're having an eagle dance, that's a nice one too. We'll keep the arms the same as we're lifting up to standing, and the top leg lifts as well. And we're stepping the foot out wide, realigning outer edges of the feet, keeping our eagle arms. Going back into the sway. Begin with the legs, one knee bending at a time. Start to move the whole upper body. Include your arms, your shoulders as you move forward. And then even downward. As you're finding your position, keep swaying. Maybe the fingertips are brushing along the floor. And then finding our way back up to stand with that same movement. We'll begin to turn our toes outwards. And with an exhalation, then sinking into a goddess stance with your eagle arms. As we inhale, let your arms open, your legs lengthen. Keep the arms open now as you turn your right foot out to the side, your left heel a little bit to the other side, and then approaching Trikonasana, or the triangle, as you place your hand to face forward on both sides. So one hand fingertips pointing to the ground, the other one's up. Find your strong stance through the feet, lengthen through the whole torso. Spread out your fingers and choose your gaze point, up, down, or forward. If you feel you would like to do a little bit more deepening the shape, take a breath in as you bend both knees. Swing the upper arm down in front of you. And while you're straightening the legs again, the upper arm might extend over the head with the palm of the hand facing down. If you are still looking up, have that light chin tuck. If you feel, yeah, but I could do more, lift the lower arm as well. Give your head a frame. That arm would be fully extended in that case. And then let both arms come down And let your palms touch on the inside of your leg. Leg position still the same. I would ask you from here to take a breath in, lift yourself up, leading with the top arm. Bring both arms up towards the ceiling and then swivel around as you place your left toes to the side, right heel to the other. Let your arms come back out to shoulder height. Breathe in. And as you're breathing out, attempting Trikonasana on the other side, now the right arm lifting upwards, ideally left hand fingertips pointing down. As you extend through your arms, become aware of the stance. Use the legs to lift from. Lengthen through the spine. Ignore my one arm, have yours extended if your shoulders allow you to. And then if you feel you would like to do a bit more, on the next in-breath, bend both knees, swing the upper arm down, and then maybe extend it over the head, palm of the hand facing downwards. Posture itself hasn't changed otherwise. Feeling into this side, how does that feel, that extension? Do you want more? In that case, lift your lower arm as well, pointing forward. Hold here. Nice smile on your lips. And then releasing both hands down to touch on the inside of your leg. And the same here, we're still in triangle stance. And we're leading now with the right arm as we inhale, lifting both arms up. Turn your feet out towards the corners and have a big side down into a forward bend. Oh, very lazy one as we bring our knees back down onto the ground and return our body to sit. Now, make sure that you've got everything here for relaxation and meditation. And then we will roll ourselves down onto the back. Got another movement and shape for you. As we lie down, the feet will be stepped onto the floor. And allow yourself to let the knees fall in for a moment before we go into yet another movement, allowing the body to find its place on the mat. How does that feel now in comparison to when we started? Just being aware, choosing to see what's going on. And then releasing your legs back with feet down at hip distance. Lift your right leg up and swing it over the left. So returning to our eagle shape. Taking your right arm underneath your left and either embracing the shoulders again or touching the palms. I like in this reclined shape to rest my hands over the third eye point, but that's actually up to you. Lifting your left foot off the floor. Keep your legs reasonably close. While you're inhaling, move the knees a little bit away from you. And when you're exhaling, begin to squeeze elbows and knees together over your body. Head is lifting. As you inhale, you can lie back down or just extend. And on the out-breath, squeezing back in. Keep going for a few more rounds. Add another 5. Or rest earlier. 4. 3. 2. 1. As you lie back down, step your left foot back down. Let your arms unwind, your arms come to rest. Lift the right leg and step the foot back onto the ground. Notice what you can feel now. Very likely sensations have changed. Now extend your left leg towards the ceiling and swing it over your right. Take your left arm and bring that underneath the right. Wind the arms up and either embrace your shoulders or maybe rest your hands onto the forehead. Lifting your foot off the floor as we inhale. On the exhale, squeezing elbows, knees together. Then move your legs away, either extend the upper body or lie back down. On the elbow, squeeze it in. So there's lots of options here to modify this movement. Please do go ahead and do so if there's something that doesn't feel that pleasant in the body or is even deeply uncomfortable. Got 5 more to go as we're extending on the in-breaths and curling in on the out-breaths. 4, 3, 2, and our last one. Just release the upper body down, step the foot to the floor, unwind your arms, let the arms come to rest, lift the left leg, and step the foot to the ground. Take a deep, full inhale and have a sigh out. Notice just for this moment, what is it like to be in your body? And decide whether you're ready for Shavasana or there's something that your body requires you to do. Mine's telling me to have a big stretch, but that might not be what yours is wanting you to do. So I feel like stretching legs and arms out, taking a deep breath, and then dropping from there into Shavasana. Whatever you are doing or have done, finding your comfortable lying down shape. If you would like to use some cushioning under the head or under the knees, that might be just right. In any way, finding a comfortable lying down position, making as many movements as are required for you to find stillness. Allowing a stillness as our attention during waking hours is currently often drawn towards external circumstances, news, worries. Allow these last minutes of your practice today to be still. Body motionless. And if it does move, just being aware of it and settling it back into that still space. Allowing the body just to be. Maybe allowing yourself to scan from your feet to your legs and noticing how the body is letting go into the ground. So does your buttocks and your hips release. Your back hopefully feeling warm and able to soften to the ground. Shoulders relaxed, and with that the arms resting. So your hands and fingers. Notice your neck, heaviness of the head. As you allow your mind to rest just for a moment over your third eye point. Beginning to visualize the color indigo again. As you let your face soften. Notice your throat. Feel your heart beating. An open chest. And a flowing belly up and down with each breath. While your body is at ease, the mind might want something to do. I invite you to stay here lying for a short meditation, but if your preference is seated, you might do that instead. Inviting you to shift your focus on your eyes. What did they look like? What do they feel like? Tired and heavy, or light and relaxed? Imagine indigo light penetrating into your eyes. This light tries to find any dark spots in your field of vision and dissipate them. Take your hands now physically and place them over your eyes. Gently resting your hands or cupping them over your eyes. Hold them there for a little while, allowing your eyes to relax more deeply or completely. It is your choice now to keep your hands there because it feels so calming, or to release the hands again. Imagine something in the future that you would like to create. Then freeze it, as if it was a beautiful painting. Now place it in an indigo bubble. Your hands are on your eyes, let them relax now. And allow this bubble to float into the middle of the world and shine its energy from there. You might want to say, divine intelligence, please allow what I have seen in my vision to manifest in the perfect time and in the perfect way. As you have trusted your vision into the universe, you might still need a few action steps to get there, but there's assistance now to help manifest your dreams. Might choose to allow this color indigo to stay with you for today or even the week. As you begin to deepen your breathing now, starting to move the body a little or a little bit more. Before you either decide that you could actually just stay there or to roll over to your side and join me back in a seated position. Resting your hands down, closing the eyes again, or steadying your gaze. We'll gather all this beautiful indigo energy as we're lifting our arms up over the head on a breath in. We're touching the palms together, capturing that energy, and we're placing our thumbs to the forehead. Allowing and bringing back to mind the vision that we might have for what to create. Before we draw our thumbs towards our lips, to assist us, we will only use kind words. Before we bring our hands down to the heart and allow a subtle bow towards the heart, deciding that we will act only from love. Using these energies all together to extend our being to that of everyone else in this space. Namaste.